Hello friends, in this video we are going to discover the top 10 affordable cities to live in the United States with best quality of life. While you've probably fantasized about living in an affordable vacation destination, it might not be in the cards for your family. Moving to a big, expensive city such as New York City or San Francisco might be out of the question too. Fortunately, the United States has many affordable, economically vibrant metropolitan areas that offer great job prospects, low living costs, and a bevy of lifestyle options for people from all walks of life. These metro areas all stretch your dollar further than you'd expect, without forcing you to make painful career sacrifices or compromise your family's quality of life. Reasonable housing, energy, and transportation costs may also free up extra space in your family's household budget and help you plan for whatever challenges and opportunities lie ahead. Several metrics are important indicators of a location's affordability quotient. Some of these metrics are median household income, median home list price, median rent, cost per gallon, regular gasoline, cost of monthly transit pass, average commute time, average property tax burden, state and local sales tax rate, state and local income tax rate, insurance costs and special issues, utility cost index, cost of living index, and few more. For each of these metrics, I've used the most up-to-date figures available. Mind that all are subject to change, some more rapidly than others. Before you start looking for places to rent or buy in any of these cities, do your own due diligence. It's no accident that most of these cities are located in the U.S. interior, far from high-cost coastal cities. Almost without exception, larger cities on the west and northeast/mid-Atlantic coasts are pricier than cities in the Midwest, South, and interior West. While there's no single cause of this persistent and well-known discrepancy, it's almost certain to factor into your calculus as you decide where to live. Kindly make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon before we start this video about the 10 affordable cities to live in the United States. Now let's dig deeper into each of the top 10 affordable cities to live in the United States. Number 10. Buffalo, New York. Buffalo carries a big chip on its collective shoulder. Once one of the Great Lakes region's industrial gems, the city has suffered through decades of deindustrialization. In the 1990s, local sports fans watched with incredulity as the Bills lost 4 consecutive Super Bowls. Downstate New Yorkers are barely cognizant of the existence of the state's second-largest metropolitan region, and those who do manage to make it up here are liable to pass right through on their way to Niagara Falls. Plus, it snows here, a lot. Long hidden in plain sight, Buffalo is finally getting the recognition it deserves. Its economy still needs work, but it's home to an emerging cluster of healthcare organizations and universities that have collectively stabilized the region's employment and brought job growth back to the city's core. The proximity of Canada's densely populated Golden Horseshoe creates a ready-made market for local products too. For residents who don't mind harsh weather or lower salaries than their downstate counterparts, this is a great place to make a life. After all, how can you argue with monthly rents that come in $2,000 less than the statewide average? Number 9. Des Moines, Iowa. Located just 2 hours east of Omaha, Des Moines is another heartland city that seems to have found an economic sweet spot. Iowa's capital was once the butt of jokes. In an early episode of South Park, a man who had been encased in ice for 36 months was sent for rehabilitation to Des Moines, where everything is 3 years behind. No longer. As a loft conversion boom transforms the city's center into an urban playground for students, graduates, and entrepreneurs, a ring of tech businesses known collectively as the Silicon Prairie has replaced the cornfields and pastures that once bracketed its beltway. Des Moines remains one of the most important regional hubs for the U.S. insurance industry as well. Despite its newfound economic power and growing crop of newcomers, Des Moines remains one of the country's most affordable and friendly metro areas. Bargain hunters who prefer the anonymity of bigger cities, where strangers return random greetings with puzzled rebukes, might want to stay away. Everyone else can look forward to stretching their dollars in this mid-sized Midwestern hub. Number 8. Birmingham, Alabama. Like its British counterpart, Birmingham has long been a hub for the steel industry. In fact, the industry suburb of Bessemer is named for the man who invented an economically viable process for producing the now ubiquitous metal. For years, Birmingham was the furnace of the South. These days, there's more to Alabama's largest city than forges and railcars. Birmingham sits near the southern terminus of the Appalachian Mountains, its dense core bracketed by parallel ridges that run from southwest to northeast. Homeowners on Red Mountain, just south of downtown, enjoy views that rival anything they'd see from the Hollywood Hills. Suburban hilltop houses are far pricier than properties in the valley below, which partially explains a steep discrepancy between city and metro area home values. Still, they're cheap next to actual West Coast properties. And the combination of extremely low housing prices and relatively high rents in the city proper make Birmingham a quintessential buyer's market. As a regional business center, Birmingham has plenty of decently compensated white-collar professionals whose ordinary salaries facilitate downright princely lifestyles. In fact, from an economic perspective, the only downside to life in Birmingham is a pricey utility delivery system that can pinch a bit during the city's muggy summers. However, this minor inconvenience is more than offset by rock-bottom prices for everything else. Number 7. San Antonio, Texas. San Antonio has a rich history that dates back to its days as a Spanish colonial outpost and, later, as a Mexican trading city. Locals might not personally remember the Alamo, but the past is never far from the conversation in Texas's third-largest city. Outsiders are surprised to learn that San Antonio is huge, home to approximately 1.5 million people in the city proper alone. San Antonio might lack the overt glitz of Vegas or the cultural pedigree of Memphis, but its downtown area bustles with activity throughout the year. The narrow, winding San Antonio River boasts the Riverwalk, a miles-long collection of dive bars, trendy restaurants, tourist shops, and authentic mom-and-pop stores. Rent is fairly expensive in this tourist-friendly part of town, but San Antonio's low housing and fuel costs ensure that locals who brave its crowds have plenty of extra cash to spread around here. San Antonio isn't just for tourists and economic refugees. With 4 Army and Air Force bases, Lackland and Randolph Air Force bases being the most prominent, scattered throughout the scrublands surrounding the city, it's a haven for military families. It's also an important hub for the telecommunications industry and serves as a crucial logistical link between Mexico's border city factories and the population centers of the south-central United States. San Antonio's minimal drawbacks are mostly climate-related. During the summer, triple-digit temperatures are the norm, and occasional droughts force water restrictions that have driven many would-be English gardeners toward hardier native landscaping choices. Number 6. Salt Lake City, Utah. It's almost unfair. Salt Lake City has an ascendant technology economy that's minting good jobs by the boatload, access to some of the world's best skiing, an inimitable culture of civic responsibility and collaboration, and it's practically surrounded by picturesque mountain ranges. Many people would undoubtedly pay a hefty premium for such assets, but not here. Despite its charm, grace, and vibrancy, Salt Lake City is among the country's most affordable metro areas. Relative to Memphis and Indianapolis, some of Salt Lake's figures may seem a bit high. In particular, the local housing market really heated up after the global financial crisis of the late 2000s and never really cooled off during the pandemic-induced recession. However, for an urban area that's constricted by mountains on 3 sides and a vast lake on the 4th, Salt Lake City has relatively low housing costs. Plus, on top of a bevy of economic assets that provide a young, well-educated, active population with enviable upward mobility, Salt Lake City has an unusually robust transit system that was planned before the 2002 Winter Olympics and continues to expand at a rapid clip. 20% of local workers carpool or ride public transit to work, an impressive figure for a newer, non-coastal city. Number 5. Las Vegas, Nevada. Gamers used to leaving Vegas with empty pockets might be surprised to learn Las Vegas is one of the most affordable big cities in the Pacific time zone. This wasn't always the case. After a feverish boom during the beginning and middle of the 2000s, Las Vegas's housing market imploded in 2007, losing about half its value in all. The local economy took another devastating hit in 2020, as the COVID-19 pandemic all but shut down Nevada's tourist industry. Fortunately, Las Vegas is nothing if not resilient. Home values are rising much faster than the national median, but remain affordable relative to local incomes, and most experts expect continued appreciation for the foreseeable future. It's safe to say that buying a house in Vegas is no longer a gamble. Contrary to popular belief, there's more to the Vegas economy than gaming. The city is an emerging hub for the technology industry, and its relatively low land and labor costs make it a popular financial back office as well. It's not quite paradise, of course. Las Vegas's brutal summer heat challenges newcomers from temperate climes, and it's extremely arid. In fact, it's the driest big city in the US. Also, a city ordinance forbids the installation of water-hogging grass lawns on parcels subdivided after 2003. With the city's impressive buying power, though, locals can afford some pretty cool xeriscaping and rock gardens. Number 4. Columbus, Ohio. When compared to other major Ohio cities such as Cleveland, Cincinnati, Dayton, and Toledo, Columbus has the strongest economy and the most educated populace. This is due, in no small part, to the presence of The Ohio State University, one of the country's largest and best-regarded public higher education institutions. Columbus is also Ohio's political capital and the heart of its emerging knowledge economy. Cleveland may rock, and Cincinnati may have its skyline Chile, but Columbus is where the action is for young, ambitious workers. It helps that it's among the country's most affordable metro areas. Its relatively high utility costs represent the only chink in its armor. Structurally, Columbus is similar to Indianapolis. It spreads in concentric, progressively less dense circles from a vibrant urban core. If you're looking for an affordable 3-bedroom house on a quarter-acre, check out nearby Westerville or Grove City. For an urban abode near the lazy Scioto River, look to Franklinton or Upper Arlington. With home prices as they are here, it's hard to go wrong. Plus, Columbus boasts world-class cultural institutions such as the Columbus Museum of Art and the sprawling Franklin Park Conservatory. Number 3. Omaha, Nebraska. Memphis has Elvis, the embodiment of rock and roll. Omaha has Warren Buffett and his Berkshire Hathaway conglomerate, both embodiments of success in business and investing. And any city that counts a low-key, slightly awkward investor as its patron saint is probably a good place to live, work, and raise a family. It's a testament to the city's affordability that the next owner of Buffett's small, tidy ranch house will likely be a first-time home buyer. If it's not turned into a museum, of course. It's not all Buffett's doing, but Omaha's economy has emerged stronger than ever from the financial crisis and subsequent recession. The city's unemployment rate sits well below the national average, and the insurers, energy firms, and logistics businesses that buttress its economy never really stopped hiring during the downturn. Meanwhile, an explosion of loft conversions and condo construction along the Missouri River waterfront has created a ready supply of convenient, affordable housing for the entry-level white-collar workers that these businesses seek. Great river views and a civic-minded business community aren't the only things that Omaha offers bargain-seeking newcomers. While you won't find any pro sports teams here, the College World Series packs a year's worth of sporting glory into a few frenetic days. What's more, Omaha is surrounded by some of the country's most fertile agricultural land, so it's no surprise that it's a locus of the farm-to-table movement, and a great place to get a world-class steak without spending a week's pay on it. Number 2. Indianapolis, Indiana. Indianapolis might not share Memphis's glamour or cultural distinctiveness, but this booming Midwestern city has plenty to offer. Located near the geographical center of its state, Indianapolis is a transportation hub that's within 3 or 4 hours of a half-dozen major cities, so it's perfect for residents who travel for work. As a consolidated city-county, Indianapolis also contains a stunning variety of urban, suburban, and semi-rural neighborhoods that appeal to just about every type of resident. In spite of its spread-out cityscape, Indianapolis's spacious, well-maintained highway system keeps commute times manageable. Indy's economy is surprisingly high-tech. Drawn by low living costs and high quality of life, software and life sciences entrepreneurs are relocating here from the coasts in growing numbers. Indy isn't all business. Every summer, the Indianapolis 500 motor race at the nearby Indianapolis Motor Speedway turns the place into a zoo. The Colts football team has a religious following, and a beautiful chain of parks follows the snaking footprint of the White River. Winters can be chilly, but the snow usually melts for good by mid-March. Number 1. Memphis, Tennessee. With a metro area population of about 1.3 million, Memphis is Tennessee's second-largest population center. It's located on the bluffs and floodplains that line the eastern bank of the Mississippi River and borders parts of Mississippi and Arkansas. Memphis's culture needs no introduction. As the home of Graceland, the spiritual birthplace of Elvis, and the epicenter of the Delta Blues, it's a musical capital that's rivaled, in the South, only by Austin and Nashville. It's also renowned for its own take on barbecue and its well-documented contributions to the civil rights movement. Once you step away from the meaderies and blues clubs of Beale Street, though, you'll be much more impressed by another of Memphis's strengths, its rock-bottom cost of living. Memphis is one of America's best cities for renters, and it's not much worse for prospective homebuyers. To be fair, the city's cheap housing and low gas prices can be attributed to a somewhat soft local economy, but it's not like you can't get ahead here. In fact, Memphis is routinely rated among the country's top destinations for bargain-seeking millennials and Gen Zers who tired of the rat race in high-cost coastal cities. Plus, there are no state, city, or county income taxes in Memphis. So, which is your favorite cities among the top 10 affordable cities to live in the United States? Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, click the subscribe button so you can receive more content like this. Post your favorite places among the top 10 affordable cities to live in the United States in the comments below. I'd love to read them, and I'm sure others would too.